Good morning, everybody. I've got my coffee in my Negative Gamer mug, and I'm gonna drink it. I've got this, I think it's meant to be vanilla flavored, but it's not really vanilla-y, but it is very nice. And you should buy one of these mugs if you haven't already. I know there's more than I expected. People have already bought the mug, and that's awesome. And please send in photos or include them in the post below. I want to make a front page post that's like a collection of Wardrox Negative Gamer mugs. Yeah, I've got Wardrox mugs as well, but Negative Gamer mugs like wherever they are in the world, and that'd be cool. Also, if you want to support the site, you can, as usual. What can I put? I'll just hold this. You can buy some adverts. I fiddle around with the footer of the website. Like if you go to Negative Gamer and scroll to the very bottom, there's easier ways to subscribe to stuff, and there's also a little donate button, which basically is a send Negative Gamer $3, but it's the link that says buy us a coffee, because the thinking is that $3 is about as much as a Starbucks costs, and if you like the site or whatever, then I don't think it would be that much of a stretch that you'd want to buy one or all of us a coffee, and that sort of like is just sort of like a nice little way of doing it. So that's that. I just realised I think the camera is slightly wonky, but oh well. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, this jumper. This is the jumper I normally wear when I'm doing lots of programming, which I've been doing on iscrapbecause.it recently, and I noticed that on that elbow, it's all intact. And on that elbow, there's a massive hole. And that's because when I'm programming or using the net most of the time, I'm sat leaning forwards like that. And that elbow has got worn down over the year or 3 years that I've been browsing the internet. So there you go, physical evidence of damage the internet causes. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I was actually going to mention just briefly that is crapbecause.it, which is my little sort of pet project. You can now vote on reasons if you go to the random page, which means that I've been spending far too long on the random page. So if you are bored at all, go to iscrapbecause.it, and play around there. Now, something I wanted to kind of talk about, like a post went up in the middle of the week. I can't really remember exactly which one it was. I didn't write it, but I know there was some discussion I had with an editor who was like, hey, is this like particularly suitable for Negative Gamer? It's not really negative or that neutral. And I was like, well, I find it an interesting news article, and so I am happy for it to go up. And that kind of made me realise that I think over the last year, my idea of what Negative Gamer is there for has kind of changed. But in the same time, the Mass Effect 2 review and my Bioshock review, which went up yesterday, has sort of reminded me why we're here. In that, if you read my Bioshock review, like, a third of it is talking about the bugs, a third, like, quite a large percentage is talking about the unbalancing in the multiplayer and the lag in the multiplayer. And none of those things, which are massive factors in you deciding if you should buy a game, were mentioned in like any of the reviews that I've found of it from any of the large sites, obviously because they didn't spend as much time in the game. And it sort of reminded me that Negative Gamer is here to sort of, I guess, provide a service. Like, if I wasn't writing Negative Gamer, I would really like to be reading it, because before I play a game, I want to know what's going to annoy me about it, and that's what the reviews do. But I think that the news side of things should probably, or like the sort of the other side of things should move maybe away from the service kind of thing and just sort of towards the more sort of interesting for who Negative Gamer is, like who you guys are, because like I don't think there's people watching this video who only want Negative Gamer to be just like criticizing or like reporting on bad news and stuff, because that'll make us all kill ourselves. And there's more interesting stuff out there. Like if I find an indie game that's about dinosaurs, then I want to post that, but it's not particularly negative. But then, like my thinking basically is that I have a pretty good idea what I want to read on the site, and I have a pretty good idea who you guys are, and what you want to read on the site. And so it would seem silly to sort of limit us to that stuff. So what I'm saying, I don't know, it's kind of a roundabout thinking, but basically, like, I don't think we need to limit ourselves. And if we find something interesting, if like I don't know, some indie game gets published and we kind of like it, then we could probably do up an impressions post, even though it's not particularly critical. Or like if news breaks, like I've been covering Transport Tycoon, in kind of a joke and also kind of just because it's like massive respect to that game. Like that's not particularly negative at all, but it's you guys know that I love that game. I mentioned that in the posts, and it kind of just sort of fits with the site. Like you don't skim down the site and then go, oh, what's this rubbish reporting on a game that there's nothing negative there. You don't really do that, and that was something like if people had been doing, I would stop. But it seems that people seem to kind of just like it, and as long as we don't just turn into like I think my ballpark figure is probably Joystick because their news is very solid. It has just a smattering of like sort of humor to it, but most of the time it's sort of like here's the news. Huh, look at that, it's news, and it's very solid and it's very good, and that's why I use Joystick for my main news source. But that's basically like where the limit is as to where I want us to get to. Like if we end up like Joystick, then I think we've gone wrong somewhere. But then it's up to you guys to give some feedback. Anyway, I want to go because I want to drink this coffee. I want to play more with this crap because it's good. And also, if you can help support is crap because that site has a vastly larger target audience than Negative Gamer. So if I can stick adverts on that, I think that has the scope to reach far more people than Negative Gamer. So my possible idea thinking is that I put an advert or two on his crap because that's not there for any kind of moral reason, and then that could support Negative Gamer, which would be fantastic. So that's what's happening. What are you up to today? I keep looking out the window because it snowed here the other day. I'm gonna finish my coffee, and yeah. Ooh. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm going on a cruise, and I won't be on the internet for an entire week. How about that? See ya.